Okay, hi guys. Great to be here to learn English together. Hi online. We've got Angeli, Dickerson, and Yana. Welcome to learning English, to working together to improve our English, making sure that we could speak the best English that we can with, more fluency and native-like ways of expressions. So if you remember what we've been doing in the last lessons, we've been looking at possessions. So objects, things, and, we looked at a lot of furniture that was inside the home. And we started to look at saying what, a place has by saying there is, if it's a singular object or possession, or there are for many things. So we need to know the difference between there is and there are. Also, we looked at the place of the object. So, okay, we know how to say there is a cupboard, or there is a bed, or, there are windows, there is a plant. But how about where is it, the location? So now we can say there is a plant next to the door, or there is a bed, or there is a couch across from or in front of the bed. So location, it's place. We call that preposition of place, and we use words like in, on, in front of, behind, between, opposite, next to. Okay, so we did that all last lesson. Then we started to look at our nouns, so making sure we know singular and plural nouns. So we know when to add the S. We looked at the rules and how to pronounce, the pronunciation of that. We also looked at talking about as well. So saying this is a book. And if it's far away, that is a book. So the same object, but if it's near, this is, or if it's far away, that is. Now that's if it's singular, but if it's plural, we say these are books. Maybe I'm holding many books, or those are books. Okay, so again, we looked at that. There was a lot of grammar last lesson, but what we then went on to doing is talking about global objects. So these objects from around the world. And we looked at one company, BMW, the Mini from BMW. And we can see that this company has objects for this Mini from around the world. That's why they call it global objects. So we then looked at reading the article together. Okay, we read it together. We answered some questions about the objects. And we wanted to look at, today we want to look at countries. So we're going to look at countries and nationalities. So I don't know if Valeria, are you trying to speak? Because you're on mute. But, okay. So today we're going to be talking about countries and nationalities. So as an example, I am from Australia, but I am Australian. Oh, sorry, I'm from Australia and I'm Australian. So you can see that the country might have a different way of when you say your nationality. So it's the same as saying I'm Colombian, I'm from Colombia. Okay, so countries and nationalities. Let's have a look at some examples from our textbook. Okay, so we've got here a country is Britain, but if you're from Britain, you would say I'm British. If the country you are from is Germany, how do you say I am German? Yeah, German. Austria is the country and the nationality is Austrian. Now, if you are Dutch, what is the country that you come from? This one's an interesting one. Netherlands or Holland. Canada. Nationality, Canadian. And if the country is Italy, Italian. If you are Belgium, you come from Belgium, Belgian. If you are English, then you come from Britain or maybe the UK. Spain, you're Spanish or Spaniard. If you are French, you come from France. And Brazilian, you are from Brazil. Okay, but here are those countries and nationalities again. So again, if it's a nationality, usually the ending is an N, A-N, I-A-N, I-S-H, E-S-E, or it could be irregular. So these are the nationalities. I'm German, I'm Austrian, I'm Canadian, I'm Italian, I'm Spanish, and as I said, Spaniard. I'm French or Frenchman, Englishman, Japanese, Chinese, Portuguese. Okay, so these were the nationalities. And the countries that I mentioned before, Holland and Netherlands are the same. Belgium, England, France, Brazil. One thing that we do is we stress a certain part of the country. So if you look here, the stress means where do we push our voice? So Germany, German, Austria, Austrian, Poland, Dutch, Canada, Canadian, Italian, or Italy, Belgium, Belgium, England, English, Spain, Spanish, France, French, Brazil, Brazilian. So a lot of the stress, where do we push our voice, is usually in the beginning of the word. You can see I'm saying Germany, German. So I've got like a strong way in the beginning when I speak. Okay, some things, it says which two continents are in the article that we read last lesson? Europe and the Americas. So you know that you've got continents are like a group of land on the earth. So we know Australia is a continent, Africa is a continent, Antarctica, Asia, it's made of many countries, but altogether it's a continent. And the Americas. Now the Americas, yes, we have North America and South America and Europe. So these are the continents. These are continents of the world, and in the article that we read, Europe and North America were the continent in the article. We had to name 2 countries from each region and continent. So we had this game last time. Europe, can you think of 2 countries from Europe? So I've got here France and Portugal. So France, Portugal, do you know of any other countries in Europe? Italy, Belgium, Poland, Switzerland, Sweden. Yeah. How do you spell it? How do you spell it? Yeah.
Yes.
Korea. I need to know in English. Yeah. Okay. So lots of countries in Europe. North America, USA. Hungary. Yes, Hungary. Yeah, that's a country in Europe. Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Serbia, Croatia. That's all Europe. North America. So we know Canada, USA. Yeah, so Canada and the USA. Let's go to Asia. Yeah. Japan, Taiwan, Vietnam, India, China, Bangladesh, what is it? Thailand, Philippines. Yes. Okay, so these are countries from Asia. From Australia, Australia is a continent and then it's a country in itself. So we only have Australia. Africa, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Sudan. Yeah. So a lot of countries as well in Africa. Antarctica is just Antarctica. And I think that's it. I mean, they're just examples. They're just examples. So they're just examples of the countries that are in the countries, in the continents. Okay, so you know the difference between a continent and a country. Okay, make sure you know that. So the continents, we said these are the continents. Okay, and then the countries, there's so many. We just did some of them here. Okay, now we're going to we're going to get into groups and we're going to present an object. So I want you to think about an ancient object. So what does that mean? And then we're going to write it here. So tell us, sorry, I'll just share my screen. So tell us about an object that you find interesting. Now we're going to get into groups. You can think about, what is it? When was it made? What is it made of? What characteristics or qualities does it have? That means like, what can I do with it? Why are these qualities important? Like, why is this object important? What was it used for? So a good idea is when you're doing a presentation about anything, try and give a bit of history first. You talk about what year it was made, where, which location, which country, and then start to give us details about the object, and then tell us, what do you think? Was it a great object that we have? So it must be an object. So you can see I've got lots of examples here, maybe like the dust buster. This is called the dust buster. So it's like a vacuum cleaner, but it's for your house, or like for small, so you don't have to get out your whole vacuum cleaner. You can just clean up small, dust, dirt. So that was a good object that they created. The iron, the windmill, maybe some ancient medieval, back in the war armor. What did they used to wear when they used to go to war? I don't know, something here like a vase, ancient vase. You could see a lot of examples. So again, you're going to get into groups and present this. So you can add it here for your writing, so I can check your writing. And then you can come up and present it. So if you look at this example from Lewis, he adds an image, which is good. We can see it. So Lewis says the exercise bike created in Germany by a guy named Baron Karl. So he gave us a bit of history, the country, and by who. So it was created in Germany by a guy named Baron Karl. Now, when you do a presentation, you want your English to be very simple. So don't write it straight from the internet. Make sure it's very casual conversation. He made it 200 years ago on June the 14th, 1817. In the Grand Duchy of Baden, I don't know, maybe the area. The bike was almost entirely carved from wood. So it was made from wood. And it had an adjustable front wheel. So you can change the front wheel. It was nicknamed the hobby horse. Since it was made, it has changed in many ways. For example, wood is no longer used today. When we make bikes, we don't use wood anymore. We use steel, aluminium, carbon, titanium, different materials. And, today bikes are very common around the world, and especially in China, which is known as the bicycle capital of the world. So if I told you that presentation about an object, the bike, I gave you the history. You can see from what Lewis wrote. He talked about the history, the year, what it was made of at the time. And then he talked about now. He brought information about now with this object. So that was a good presentation. Again, the thing that I would say is make the English very simple, even just say it very simply. So you can see when I repeated what he wrote, I said it in more simple ways. So it's good to have a presentation where you're presenting something, but make it casual. You're just speaking. So remember to say, hey guys, today we're going to talk to you about this object. This object was made in France in the 16th century, whatever. So really simple conversation words when we speak. Okay, another one was from Jonathan. He talks about the Renault cars. So he gave a bit of history, details about the car, and then he talks about now, Colombia. It's interesting. There's a production manufacturing, I think, in Colombia. So that I found really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put you into groups, and you're going to think of one object together and then present it to the class. Make sure it's not an object that's already in the comments. And it's not a simple object like the iPhone or, make it interesting. Like we really want to learn about an object that's, that you can think that you want to tell us about. It's interesting, like it's great that it was invented. Or maybe there's an object that was created, but it was such a bad idea. And that's it. We no longer see it anymore. We no longer use it. So you can even talk about that. That's interesting. Okay, so if you remember, we were doing presentations about an object. You were in a group, and I gave you some ideas. I said that when you make a presentation, doesn't matter what topic you're talking about, it's good to always maybe in the beginning have an introduction. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Introduce yourselves as a group. And then you can say maybe the history. So talk about the history. What is it that you want to talk about? When was it created? Which year, which country? So it's always good to have background information. Then in the middle of your presentation, so the next person can then talk about the details. So start giving more details about the object. What is it used for? Why do we need it? Why is it important? What can we do with it? And then as the last person in your group, they can talk about interesting facts today. So what's great about it today? How has it changed the world today? Why do we really like it and want to use it now? So something like that. Okay, so I'm going to read your ones just so you can hear my pronunciation. So make sure you listen because your part, you can hear how to pronounce some words. So Franco and Eloise and Fo are talking about the mobile phone. So again, in Australia and the UK, we say mobile phones. In the US, they say cell phone. So we do not say cell phone here. You'll sound very strange. So I can see there's an image, and this is the presentation. So it should sound something like this. So remember, there's going to be different people speaking, but I'll just speak it all. Again, this is just so you can hear the pronunciation, and also where I lift my voice up. So I'm not just reading it with one straight, boring sound, but I'm lifting up, making my voice sound excited so that I can make my people, my audience, I could make them excited in what I'm saying. Okay, so it should be something like this. So, hello everyone. We are Fo, Eloise, and Franco. So make sure you're pointing. You've got to, because you can't just say the names. We don't know. So Fo, Eloise, and Franco. And today we'll tell you about the mobile phone. Firstly, before mobile phones, we had home phones with long cords. These phones were big and stayed in one place. But then something amazing happened. People wanted to talk on the phone while they were out and about. So scientists and inventors got to work. In 1984, the Motorola Dynatac 800X was released. A phone that looked like a heavy brick and weighed about a kilo. Despite its size, it was a game changer. You could make calls from anywhere, not just from home. Martin Cooper, an engineer at Motorola, made the first ever phone call on New York Street. He called his competitor, Joe Engel, from Bell's lab and said, "Guess what? I'm calling you from a cell phone." The world was amazed. However, the first phone had some issues. Its battery lasted about an hour when used, or 8 hours on standby. But it marked the beginning of a revolution. Over time, phones became smaller and their batteries improved. Today, our phones are like magical mini computers. We can chat with friends, take photos, play games, and explore the internet all in one tiny device. Okay, so Edward's team, they say, "Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about an important medical tool called the stethoscope." So what is it? Well, the stethoscope is used by doctors to listen to what's happening inside our bodies. It is a little tube with an earpiece and chest piece at the ends that doctors put on our skin to hear our heartbeats, breathing, or maybe some other internal sound. Who created it? A French medical doctor named René Laennec made the stethoscope back in 1816. He came up with the idea because he was not comfortable placing his ear directly onto a woman's chest to listen to her heart. Why is it important? Imagine trying to figure out what's happening inside our body without being able to hear inside. The stethoscope helps doctors diagnose medical issues with the heart, lungs, and other organs. So, in a nutshell, the stethoscope is an amazing, essential medical tool. Thanks for listening, and thanks to René Laennec for changing the world of medicine. Okay, so Franco, Eloise, and Fo are going to present their presentation. So here we go.
Hello, everyone. We are Fo, Eloise, and Franco. And today we'll tell you about the mobile phone. Firstly, before mobile phones, we had home phones with long cords. These phones were big and stayed. These phones were big and stayed in one place.
In one place.
In one place.
One
place. But tem something amazing happened? People wanted to talk on the phones while they were out and about. So scientists and inventors go to work.
In
1984,
in a CAC,
X,
nothing X that kilo nine so
you could
input mass come from
call
so from anywhere, not choose from hot
not just
from hot mass. So
engineer,
engineer have motor mass
made
makes the
first
effort. Oh, us on New York and
on New York Street. He called
it computation and sound was
it what?
that was in the book for
A cell phone.
the phone in that day. The was when
Ladies.
made.
However, the first phone had some issues. Its battery lasted only about an hour when used or 8 hours on standby. But it marked the beginning of a revolution. Over time, phones became smaller and their batteries improved. Today, our phones are like magical mini computers. We can chat with friends, take photos, play games, and explore the internet all in one tiny device.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so just some tips. When you're reading that, when you start a new sentence, lift your voice up because that's what we do. So, for example, I'll just read Franco's part. So listen to my voice when I start a new sentence, how it lifts up, and then it goes normal. Because Franco, your voice was like the same all the way, you know, and most other people, this learners do that. So it's not just you, but so listen to how I say it. However, the first phone had some issues. Its battery lasted only about an hour when used or 8 hours on standby. But it marked the beginning of a revolution. Over time, phones became smaller and their batteries improved. Today, our phones are like magical mini computers. We can chat with friends, take photos, play games, and explore the internet all in one tiny device. So can you see how my voice kind of lifted up in some places? So that's what you want to try and speak in that way. Okay, good. So we just have one more presentation. Now we're just waiting for some information from Angeli, but as we do, we can go to Edward's team. So Edward, is your team ready? And Edward's team, again, they're talking about, now you might have some issues pronouncing this, so I'll say it for you guys, stethoscope. Stethoscope.
I am ready, Edward.
That's okay. Okay, so let's have a listen to your presentation. Okay, so we have Edward, Dickerson, I think, and Yanath. Okay, you guys ready to present? And remember all the things that I told you, lifting up your voice, making it sound interesting and exciting, and yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about important medical tool challenge.
Tool, medical tool.
Tool color related for stethoscope. So what is it? Well, the stethoscope is used by doctors to listen to what's happening inside your body.
What's inside?
It is a little because here it's in chest beat. At the end that doctor putting our skin to hair or head beats to give ear beats. Yeah. Bleeding or maybe some water or the internal form.
Next person.
What created it? A French medical doctor named René Lanet made the stethoscope, but in 1816 he come out with he came out
Yes, it came up.
he came out with the idea because he was not comfortable placing his ear directly onto a woman's chest to listen to her heart. Heart. Janet,
Last one. Why is it important? No, these two first parts.
How important? Imagine my find out what's figure out what's happening inside your brain.
Our body.
How body, without being able to have sight. The stethoscope helps doctors diagnose which valve suit with the heart, lungs, and the other. So, in a nutshell, the stethoscope is amazing. Is an amazing essential medical tool. Thanks for listening and thanks to Helen Brand and Coach changing the world of medicine.
Yes.
thank you.
No worries. Good. That was really good. Okay, we have the last one by Angeli. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Perfect. I can see you added the extra information. Yes. Okay. Angeli, tell us about, I love that you added an image, the dental chair. So the chair that we sit on when we visit the dentist. Okay. Yes. So tell us.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about the dental chair. We sit in the when we visit the dentist. The first dental chair was manufactured at the end of the 19th
century.
yeah 19th century in London, where they worked on a wooden chair similar to that of hairdresser
Hairdressers. Okay. So
Hairdresser.
so the first dental chair looked like the one when you go to a hairdresser.
It is an important part of any dental office. Its design was aimed
Its design
its design was aimed at
Aim.
providing
Aim.
aimed providing
at providing
comfort to both the patient,
the patient
the patient and the dentist during dental procedures. It can be adjustable, allowing good positioning of the patient.
There's a patient
of the patient for treatment and easy visibility for the dentist. Today, many modern dental chairs include additional features such as lighting, adjustable footrest, and movable headrest. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and I hope you check out the dental chairs on your next visit.
Yes, great ending. So did you see the endings? How they were like an interesting, so Angeli told us that when we go to the dentist next, have a look at the chair, because it's interesting. She told us all the history about it, what the original one looked like, and today how we can do many things with it. It has lights and footrest, a place where we can put our feet. We can move the headpiece, so more comfort. It's more comfortable. Okay, so that's what we had with doing our presentations. So again, making sure that presentations really should be very simple English. It's not a writing, it's a presentation where you're speaking. So yes, it has to be very casual, not too casual, like the way you joke with your friend, but just, nice and casual. And it should be, well structured. You should maybe give the history first and then move to details and then talk about now. So that's just a nice idea how to present something. Could be about anything. And most importantly, lift up your voice, like what I did at certain parts, so that it keeps your audience interested, they're not going to fall asleep. And of course, add images, introduce yourselves in the beginning, and use your hands. Sometimes, I do that a lot. I find that, and I noticed Eloise did that too. When she was speaking, Eloise was using her hands, and I could tell it improved her English. It did. It really does. When you start to use your body in speaking, it really does help with your English, with your speaking. So that's just some tips for presentation. Again, presentation is when you come up and you're speaking in front of people. Maybe one day you need to do it at church or, in front of your friends, or you never know, it could be anywhere. Okay, so that was good. That was some presentation tips. And talking about objects. So again, we were still on possessions, objects. So what are we doing next lesson? We are going to be going to the shops. We're going to be shopping. So we're going to be looking at currencies, because different countries have different monies that they use. So in Australia, we have the Australian dollar. In America, the US dollar. In Canada, the Canadian dollar. Yes, it's all dollar, but it must be called the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar. In Colombia, the pesos, I think, like Argentina. Yes, and in Brazil, the real. Yes. So that's called currencies. And other countries will learn about that. And we're going to know how to say the price of something. So what does this book cost? How much is it? And we're going to go shopping. We're going to be making conversations, pretending that we want to buy something. So I'm going to give you lots and lots of nice casual ways, native language ways of asking for something. You know, I want to buy something. How much? How much is it? And especially, yes, so talking about the price. Then we're going to be doing an advertisement. So we're going to look at selling something ourselves. So now we want to put up a post because we want to sell something. So I'm going to show you how to do a nice advertisement because we want to sell something. Okay, so that's all next lesson. Yes, see you then. So we'll do lots of that. So see you, Angeli and Dickerson. I think Franco went early.
See you, teacher.
See ya. See you tomorrow. Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, perfect. Bye, Angeli. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.